The next topic is software, and in the software chapter these are the important topics that you need to look before going to your exam. Okay, and in today's session we are going to see what is the meaning of instruction, program and the software. Afterwards we are going to see the relationship between the software and the hardware, and finally we are going to classify the software based on the interaction and the source code availability. And finally we are going to see some jargons related to the software which are commonly asked in the exam, and we are going to wrap this session. Okay, so the very fundamental to this chapter is an instruction. Okay, so remember student, instruction is the command given to the computer to perform a specific operation. Okay, so instruction is nothing but a command which is given to the computer to perform some specific action. Okay, let's take an example, like we are giving an instruction of addition of two numbers, say R1 and R2. So this is an instruction given to the computer. What type of operation it need to perform? Addition. So this is one example of instructions. And student, remember, these instructions which we are talking right now are directly understood by CPU or the hardware. Okay, and we have already covered the chapter CPU, where we have seen instructions are directly fed to the CPU, and there are 4 phases in it, like fetch, decode, execute and write back. Okay, so instructions is the basic for the CPU part. Okay, and you should remember that these instructions are written in binary language. Why binary? Because binary or machine language can only be understood by the computer or the hardware. Okay, and these instructions, for simplification, it is generally also written in assembly language. All these type of language we are going to cover in the language translator chapter in the upcoming days. Okay, the next one is the program. So we have seen the instructions. Now coming to the program, it is basically a sequence of instruction. Okay, so instruction is a command given to the computer. So when we have the sequence of instructions which is written in some programming language to perform some particular task, it becomes program. Okay, so this pointer was asked in SBI Associate, and you should know that generally these programs are written in high level languages. Why high level languages? So that it can be easily understood by the humans or the person who is writing the program. Okay, and since it is written in high language, so we need to convert it so that machine could understand. So we need language translators like compiler or interpreter to convert this high level language to the machine level language. Okay, and we have seen like instruction is a command given to the computer. So if we have a task of addition, we will going to write a simple program. A program can be like this, like we are going to start, we are going to read a number A, we are going to read a number B, we are going to put the addition and result into some another variable, and finally we are going to print the sum, and we are going to stop that task. Okay, so this is basically a program. So as we have seen, program is a sequence of instruction. So all these are instructions and these are written in a programming language. So this is one pseudo programming languages, and it is performing a task. What type of task? Addition. Okay, so a program is anything which is used to solve a particular program of the human being. Okay, coming to the software. So as we have seen, an program is a sequence of instructions. Similarly, a software is a collection of the program. Okay, and in addition to that, it also has an associated document which tells a computer what to do. Okay, And basically a software is designed to fulfill some intended task. Okay, let's take an example. So we have written a program of addition in the previous slide. So if we make a software which does calculator task, so that become a software. Okay, instead of having only one task addition, if we have multiple tasks like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, we are making a software that we are naming as a calculator. There are many other software which are designed to perform intended tasks. For example, for word processing, we have MS Word. For presentation related tasks, we have PowerPoint software. And similarly, we have many more other software which are available in the market. So the very basic definition of software is it is a collection of program and the associated document which tells a computer what to do. Okay. Let's see the relationship between the hardware and software. So as you know, hardware are the physical component of a computer system, and users are the person who are going to use that hardware. Okay, so in between we have two types of software. One is application software, which is designed to do a specific task or solve a particular problem, whereas system software is a software which is basically interface between hardware and the user. Okay, so that it can be understood by the hardware what exactly need to be performed. Okay, so hardware is the core, whereas user are the person who are going to use those hardware with the help of system software and application software. We are going to classify in the upcoming slides so how the relationship will become established. Okay, so the classification of computer goes like this. So we have two types of software, application software and the system software. And in the application software we have two types, general purpose and specific purpose. And in the system software, the very important one is the operating system. This is very important. Okay, operating system is one of the important system software which is found in every computer nowadays. Translators, device drivers and utility. Okay, so in today's chapter we are going to see application software. In the upcoming session we are going to discuss about operating system and the language translators. Okay, and there are three types of language translators: assemblers, interpreter and compiler. Okay, so in today's session we are going to see more specific on the application software part and the basic difference between these two. So the application software, as the word suggests, it is a type of software which is designed to do some real world task for the user. Okay, so we have seen like MS PowerPoint, if we talk, so it is solving a real world problem, that is to give a presentation to large number of audience. Okay, so that become an application software. Okay, and this application software usually come with the GUI, that is graphical user interface. Okay, there are two type of interface, GUI and character user interface, CUI. Okay, so GUI is user friendly, where you have a lot of icons and you can do whatever you want on the screen itself. Okay, there is no need to enter the command. Okay, and application software can be classified as a general purpose and special purpose. And these general purpose application software can be used by anyone for the common task. Okay, for example, now everybody is computer savvy, so anybody can use calculator, anybody can use Word, anybody can use PowerPoint or web browser. Okay, multimedia player. So anything that can be used by anyone for the common task is an application software. But if we talk about the specific purpose application software, those are designed to perform specific task or for an organization. Okay, so if we talk about railway reservation, okay, so you and I cannot do a railway reservation processing. In fact, we have separate general purpose software with which we can book our ticket. But if we talk about the ATM software, the software written for the ATM, we are the user for that, but the software which is used for operating the ATM machine is a specific purpose application software. Okay, that is specific to the ATM, not for the general public. Okay, coming to the system software. So this software basically it controls and manages the computer system hardware. Okay, and it basically a very important pointer that it is going to provide a platform for application software. So application software cannot run by their own on the hardware. They need some system software. More specifically, they need some operating system. Okay, and all the system software generally runs in the background. For example, if you are looking on your mobile or the computer system, there is one operating system which is running behind this applications which you have opened. Okay, and it acts as a interface between user, application software and the hardware, and this pointer was asked in RRB NTPC. And there are many types of system software. These are the common ones. Operating system is very important, which is normally asked in the exam. Language translator is another important system software which is very important from the exam point of view. The next is classification. The first classification is based on the source code availability. Okay, so if software source code is the code, or you can say the how it is written, if it is available, so based on that we are going to classify those software. So if source code you can talk about like how it is written. If it is available, they are known as open source. It is open for all the users which you want to see the source code. Okay, whereas closed source or the proprietary software, these are the terminologies where source code is not revealed to the public. Okay, that source code is a proprietary for the organization. Okay, it will not be given to the public, whereas the source code in the open source software will be available for the users who want to see the source code how it is written. Okay, and if we talk about the cost, since it is an open source, normally they are free, but they are under license things. Okay, and these are the paid software. Okay, a modification is allowed in the open source software. You can modify the open source software, but since source code is not available in the proprietary software, you are not allowed to make any changes. And community wise, there is a very good support for the open source software, whereas proprietary software only vendors and companies are allowed to do the change and support. The very famous example you have heard, Linux operating system, that is open source software, whereas if you talk about the Windows, MS Office, all those are proprietary software of the Microsoft company. Okay, so the basic difference, generally these are asked in the exam. Okay, he will ask you the example like Linux is what type of software, your answer should be open source software. Okay, and finally let's see the terminologies. The first one is the installation. So if you have one software and you are doing some installation, okay, so the term installation means you are copying the software file into your computer and you are setting them for the use of the person. Okay, uninstallation is the reverse of installation, where you are going to remove the software from the computer. Okay, installation means you are copying the software file into the computer, whereas uninstallation is a process of removing the software from the computer. Okay, and update, so you have seen in your mobile and the desktop PC there will be an update notification. So update means there will be a small change to fix a minor issue or some feature addition. Okay, so update is basically a, you can say it is a type of fix. Okay, upgrade, if it is very a major change. Okay, if it is a minor change, it is called update, but if it is a major change, it is known as upgrade. Okay, for example, you are using version 7 and all of a sudden they have released version 8. Okay, so you are upgrading to version 8. Okay, what is a patch? Student, patch is a small piece of code, okay, which is used to fix the bug and vulnerability in the software. It is similar to update, but patch is generally like it is a part of update. Okay, backup, so a very common terminology where we are copying the data or software for the recovery in case of loss or damage. So if you want to have a backup, means you are copying your data or software into some place so that if my hardware or software got crashed, I can retrieve it back after some time. Okay,